How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Scarlet, and welcome back to a brand new video. Today, ladies and gentlemen, we got ourselves some new Pokemon things to talk about, some rumors, leaks, news, all that kind of stuff. Either way, sit back, relax, grab yourself a beverage, and let's go. Starting things off, we're going to start with this post right here from Soul Silver, which was posted yesterday. Now, I didn't post anything yesterday in the last few days. It's just been a lack of information and news, but some stuff has cropped up, though. So let's see this. With the rumor that Pokemon news may be coming this week, this big overlooked news that may not many people covered came to mind. Remember when Ku hinted a PK Hex-like feature in the DLC? What if there's a new feature and app coming that can legally and officially gen Pokemon? Look in the pictures at this data of a Scarlet and Violet update data mine called Pokedata DLC Gift. And here we're looking at specifically what he said. Now, if you don't know who these people are, first of all, Soul Silver is a leak analyst. He takes leaks, rumors, riddles, whatever you want to call it, and breaks them down. But then you have Riddlaku, who's a legitimate, genuine leaker. For those who do not know him, if you just haven't followed these kinds of news, he is a legitimate leaker. He has genuine, real information. So just keep that in mind. Either way, what is he saying here? Well, DLC has some new cool features, but you have no chance to know them in advance. And then a little translation here, a little reveal, PK Hex-like feature, don't miss it. And we will only share info with global friends and that we met when we did the riddles. Really fun to discuss the news with them. And then if you look further here on the images, there was this interesting brand new added feature or piece of code in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet's 1.2 update. Here's what it says. New strings and structures added to the Scarlet and Violet 1.2.0 update to hint at something interesting. Inside the DLC.dat file, text file, we see lines about receiving DLC items, apparel, and even Pokemon. Full English text. And then here, a mysterious new data structure was added in the serialization schemes to store DLC gift Pokemon data. See below the picture for the C-sharp translation of the structure, type fields named by Game Freak, comments by me. So dev ID, and then dev ID, species, Terra type, shiny, if it's, a rare type, shiny or not, random with flawless, specified, flawless count, IV spec, EV spec, nature, stat nature, default, and manual. Seems like there will be some sort of external generator to create DLC data, and these DLC gifts handled separately from mystery gift. Might be player customizable prior to receipt in-game. Unsure how accessible this DLC feature will be. And then he continues on, or kind of like just, finishes things, I guess, off here. But either way, let's just see what the rest of this says. Now, these lines and data structures look very much like this in a possible. This is a possible ID. They literally list all the elements of genning Pokemon: gender, Terra type, size, type, EVs, IVs, etc. This last tweet from Kurt sums it up perfectly. Could we be getting a player customizable external generator that makes DLC gifts separate from mystery gifts? Though I would imagine that this will be a limited genning feature. Apparently, it'd be a feature external from Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, so it'd have to be from an app or a website, etc. This data isn't saying we can gen Pokemon in Scarlet and Violet DLC, but the game will be able to receive and read some kind of genned Pokemon. Think of the Dream World website with hidden abilities back in Gen 5. Yes, it's probably the closest you could actually find. Now, the question is, would this be a free feature made accessible by purchasing DLC, or could it be a paid new service for a new or existing app? Would you pay for this kind of feature? I would. This would be huge for competitive, especially Pokemon. So yeah, what do you guys think about that? I want to hear your thoughts and opinions. Possible genuine genning for Pokemon that's, allowed by the Pokemon Company. Personally, I wouldn't pay for it. No offense. Guess PK Hex is free. I'm sorry. It's just how it is, man. I'm not going to pay to gen Pokemon. I just don't want to. I don't see the point in it. I think it's stupid. Personally, I'm not up for it. If this is free and it's the way I'm perceiving this, I don't think this is genuinely. I think in some way, no offense to Soul, but I think he's misconstruing this a little bit. I don't think this is a genning feature in the same sense as PK Hex. I think this is going to work for a limited set of Pokemon, and it's specifically going to be for those Pokemon because maybe they just want to introduce this as a way for you to kind of pick and choose how you want that Pokemon to function for you. Now, if that's going to be the case, we'll have to wait and see. But also, I'm just saying, this doesn't mean that we're going to get a genning thingy in the game itself. Like, this might be in an external website, but this might be something for them. This might be a tool for them to use rather than for us. This might be a way for them to just way easier implement these Pokemon, which I don't see what the point would be if you can't just shove it in the game normally. But I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. I just don't think it's going to work just like PK Hex. And if it does, probably for a limited amount of Pokemon or some special Pokemon, like maybe, I'm thinking this makes sense with Terrapagos, the third legendary, right? The big blue turtle from the second DLC. I think it's going to be connected to that Pokemon. That Pokemon, it looks like it's going to have almost every typing connected to it. It has all the type logos on its back. So I'm assuming that maybe is what it's related to. I feel like maybe it's just a way for us, for specifically that one Pokemon, to decide its typing and stuff on this separate website. Something like that is what I would imagine. Again, that could be wrong. Either way, this is just one of the small things. Next is a big one. So this is again from Riddler Koo, or Koo's Fashionable Hat as he renamed himself. But basically he said, your both version info. Here's the first batch of Pokemon who are going to be wearing special hats or masks in Sudachi. Got a clue and not a surprise, huh? And then he shows these pictures with typings that don't really correlate with these Pokemon, but this is a riddle, okay? So what you're seeing here doesn't mean that, oh, you know, Cinderace and Charizard and Greninja are going to be getting Gigantamax forms. That's not what, oh sorry, not Gigantamax forms. I mean Terra Max forms, or, you know, special Terastallized forms, because that's what one of the that's what he's talking about here. He's specifically hinting at brand new, like this brand new feature, and I've talked about this in multiple videos, but there is talks, there is rumors, this guy has leaked it and already told us that there is going to be a brand new kind of version of Terastallize, right? It's the same way that, you know, if you take it Dynamax, there is Gigantamax, right? It's the upped version. It's the one where like only a few set of Pokemon have Gigantamaxing. Like every Pokemon has Dynamaxing, the same way every Pokemon has Terastallizing. But not every Pokemon has Gigantamax, because when a Pokemon Gigantamaxes, its actual design changes. And that's what we're going to get here as well. We're going to get a new feature, we don't really know what it's going to be called, but we're for now calling it Terra Max. It's been nicknamed by one of the people in the community, and we're just going to call it that, okay? We're going to call it Terra Max. And the reason we're calling it Terra Max is because it's just easy to remember. And what would this mean? It basically means that your Pokemon is still terrestrializing, but it's terrestrializing and changing its design as well, getting a brand new hat or design or whatever, same way that Megas work or that Gigantamaxing works, right? So that's what this is all about. And here he's hinting at it, but he's not telling us that these 6 Pokemon are the ones getting it. He's showing us a image of a Pokemon and then a different typing. He's hinting at a totally different Pokemon by using these 2. So here is a bit of a breakdown from Soul Silver. And he's got 2 different breakdowns, so let's see what his thoughts are. It says, I love that there's a new riddle to crack. Many will just think it's an April Fool's joke, and it is lol, but there's a clue in it too. So here are my first thoughts, though much more may come to light later. These being the Pokemon that get forms seems too obvious. Plus, they are all starters. Well, it all depends on starter Pokemon. I realize this is the first batch, so the next batch could be non-starters, but they've also been special Terra Raid Pokemon. So then, by this logic, the second batch will probably also have been has to be from the Terra Raid Den. So yeah, I don't think they are the real part. Though it's curious that all these Pokemon already have existing alternate forms. Also, by saying this is the first batch, he could be implying he will eventually riddle a second batch. So if the mons are fake, the fake part, that leaves the typings to be real. But while giving us the types of the forms is technically new info, it's pretty general and doesn't mean much. Other than, thank God there could be a new bug type, lol. So what if the pictured mons are substitutes for different Pokemon that will get forms? The connection would be that they have the same type as the pictured Pokemon. For example, Charizard here means Talonflame could be the Pokemon getting a Dragon Terraform, etc, etc. Or maybe there's substitutes for the Paldean starters. Charizard equals Skeledirge, etc, etc. The only other thing I can think of is that the image is fake, the fake part, while the true clue is the text somehow. Like, who may be confirming that there are Terra masks or hats, or maybe some of these Pokemon get masked, while others, like Pikachu, just get new hats. Then again, it could all just be exactly what he's saying, and the trick is whether we believe it's a trick or not. All that's all I've got so far, but the riddles truly they take time to develop. And here he kind of shows kind of what it would maybe function as, right? So maybe it's like any of these possible Pokemon, and then that would be the terraform of it. And he says, April Fool's around the corner. Want to see a real riddle of DLC or a fake leak? It says, okay, both seems to be a fun idea. So yeah, you can't really trust it. And here it says, your both version info. So yeah, that's what I guess he means by both, is that it's both real and fake, right, at the same time. So that's a bit weird. But again, there is more information on this. So here is another one from Soul Says LOL. Sorry, Samurai fans, it was at 1:30 in the AM when I made this. So I kind of forgot it's a mono water type. But yeah, I get the idea. Hey, I never make these kinds of mistakes with Pokemon, so I'm happy to have made it this far. But this makes a whole new theory possible. It's curious how there's only monotypes in the right column. Maybe if the forms add 2 types instead of 1, what if these are the Paldean starter types, or the 3 hero Pokemon's actual types, or some legendaries types? Fire flying fighting, water poison electric, grass flying bug. If we follow this theory specifically, there's many possibilities now, especially if we add in the types of the Pokemon in the left column too. However, I have many more theories than this one in my original tweet that I linked below. But yeah, we've already talked about that one, so let's go to something else. Now, we're going to be finishing things off with these last 2 posts here, and here's what he says. Was always planning on talking about this, but could just sped up my timetable. Terraforms will they be Terrastall crowns that change the appearance as well as type? Or Terra masks like we've seen in the DLC. It's very possible that masks of the 3 hero Pokemon are just special forms specific to them, and Ogerpon, just like any usual forms, like Palafin for example, and have nothing to do with terrestrializing. That was my main theory because Ku has been hinting at fashionable hats instead for a while now, but his latest riddle, it seems Terra mask forms could be possible. And it's because he tweeted cool and beep from non-artists, and these images here of these different change designs again of these Pokemon. He says, and Terra Mask could actually make a lot of sense. They'd explain why these forms weren't possible in base Scarlet and Violet, but they are now. They could explain adding a second type to an already terrestrialized Pokemon, as they probably be having a held item that allows the transformation. I just hope that the mask will fuse to the Pokemon and change its form like the art below, instead of just being a mask on top of the Pokemon's face like we see with Ogerpon. Lastly, there's an unlikely option where it's both. Maybe just the Terraforms of the 3 heroes and Ogerpon have the mask element added to the Terra crown. But then all the other Pokemon that have this Terra form only have the hat element. However, Ku did say hats or masks. Which will it be? The bottom line is we still know nothing about how these forms will work or what they will look like. Which is true, and here's kind of what that could look like if we went for the 3 new legendaries that we saw. So Monkey Dory here is like a water terrestrialized form where it actually applies the mask to it and changes its genuine design. So yeah, either way. Final thing. I've been wanting to speculate on this map for a while. I've seen people suggest both views. When I first saw this map, I instantly assumed it's an underwater land connected to the Blueberry Academy. Many people instead believe it's a map of Kitakami, but this scene is from the Indigo Disc portion of the DLC trailer, and for all intents and purposes, Kitakami is separate from the Blueberry Academy. The only collection is that Carmine and Kieran attend the Blueberry Academy, but are from Kitakami. We never see a map of Kitakami in the Teal Mask portion of the trailer, so there's really nothing to suggest this is it. Geodude being related to Iwate doesn't cut it for me. Lastly, with around 200 Pokemon returning between the 2 DLC packs, there must be land somewhere that's related to the Blueberry Academy, but where we can catch at least around 100 returning Pokemon. What if this map was shown in a Blueberry Academy classroom? Because students are learning about how the Blueberry Academy discovered this totally submerged land nearby their academy. That might even connect back to the deepest underground part of Area Zero, which then, of course, ties back into the codename Atlantis. I could always be wrong, but this was just my personal theory on the matter. And, I don't know. It is interesting because personally, I've been looking at this map. We've been looking at this map for a long time now. Since the DLC trailers dropped and everything, we've been looking at this map, and it's really hard to discern what this is. I personally have gone from this is Kitakami to this is inside of the Blueberry Academy to a billion other like theories, and I really don't know if this map has anything to do with anything. I feel like it does though, because it does look like in some way or shape, this does look like it's supposed to be like in a classroom, right? In a classroom showing like, you know, the students what's going on like, you know, different things, different weather around the map, right? That's kind of the vibe I'm getting from this. But again, there's not really much to take away from that. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to just thank you all for watching as per usual. I want to thank you all for the support, and I'll be seeing you guys in the next video because that's pretty much all there is to say. I don't think I've really missed anything. So yeah, see you guys next time. Peace.